A wiser person than me once said, if something isn't written down, then it doesn't exist. So I started keeping a jiu-jitsu training journal. Here's the template I use. I put the coach's name at the top. That helps me to visualize the demonstration. I also like knowing who the technique comes from, followed by the date, so that one day I'll be able to look back on the days and years and think,
I was showed how to do this in 2022. Why can I still not do it? Just kidding.
You can see that I've laid out the starting position and who's doing what all the way through, kind of like the script of a play. I like to have my notebook within a single page of the Apple Notes app. Obviously that syncs up with my phone, so when I want to look at the position, I can just go ahead and search for that word. There's a high probability that as I learn more about learning jiu-jitsu, I'll change the way I'm doing this, especially as most of the time my notebook looks like this. Just embracing the chaos here. As a white belt, I often don't know the actual names of the techniques I'm learning. I'm sure it would be better to use the actual names of the techniques because they're more universal and they're the actual names of the techniques. But I figure if you don't know them, then you don't know them. Coming up with nicknames can also be a really helpful way of solidifying information. Tim Ferriss actually talks about a similar method in his deconstructive language technique. Ferriss says that when you're learning a language, it can be helpful to take a concept you don't know and tether it to a familiar notion in your mind. So I suppose that when we're learning jiu-jitsu, coming up with nicknames could be really helpful in the same way that is when you're, say, learning Japanese. I found that the best time to take notes was in class or directly after class. That way, the finer details of the technique were more active in my mind and I was more likely to write things down accurately. So far, the best time for me to review my jiu-jitsu notes is on the walk to and from the gym and the train station. Or in moments of dead time, such as when I'm queuing for something in a shop, I can just whip out my phone. One thing I really like is going through jiu-jitsu notes in my mind when I'm trying to sleep. I know it sounds kind of nerdy, but I just find it relaxing and it helps me just nod off, kind of like counting sheep. I've been doing this for a couple of months now and I've found that keeping a training journal has really helped my information retention. I think that's it. I hope that if you're thinking of keeping a jiu-jitsu training journal, or perhaps you're already keeping one, that you found this video helpful. I post a video every 2 weeks about my jiu-jitsu training journey, so if you'd like to hear more, go ahead and hit subscribe.